How would you like to part own a solar park like this? Well, if you live in the UK, you have a unique opportunity right now to do just that with Ripple Energy. But is it a good investment? I took a long, hard look at Ripple's share offer, and I'll tell you what I think, and also what I did. Hi, I'm Gary, and welcome back to my channel, Gary Does Solar. You might not be able to have solar panels on your house, or you might not want to have them on your house. But that doesn't mean you have to miss out on the solar revolution. And even if you already have solar panels, you can add to that investment in a new way. Ripple Energy has just issued a public share offer, which allows you to take part ownership in their latest project, a solar park in Devon in the UK. Now, before I get into the detail, because I'm about to talk about a financial-based product, I do need to show you this disclaimer. I'm not here to advise you, I'm only sharing what I've learned myself and providing my own views on that. And whilst I'm pretty sure my understanding of Ripple's share offer is correct, I could well be wrong in some places. If I am, please do let me know in the comments, and I'll add corrections in the video description. Okay, with the disclaimer out of the way, let's get into the Ripple opportunity itself. Ripple Energy is a cooperative in the renewable space run by Sarah Merrick. Their vision and mission is simple: to make clean energy ownership affordable and accessible for everyone, everywhere. Their first project was the Graig Fatha wind farm in South Wales, which is owned by 900 members in the cooperative, and it went live in 2020. Their second project at Kirkhill in Ayrshire is also a wind farm, and it has even more owners. 5,600 members are invested into that project. The site is currently under construction and is due to go live early 2024. This brings us onto their current project and the subject of this video, a solar park to be built at Derril Water in Devon. And the window is currently open for members of the public to invest in this latest project. Many people in the UK and around the world have installed solar panels onto their properties and save money by generating their own electricity when the sun is out instead of drawing from the grid. But some properties are not suitable for solar panels, and some people might not even want them on their roof. Ripple Energy is offering an alternative solution to home solar by allowing people to own an equivalent share of the solar panels, but operated from inside a solar park. With an upfront investment of anywhere between £25 and 120% of what you already pay for your electricity every year, you'll receive a monthly payout directly to your energy account, essentially a saving of your electricity bill going forward. The size of these monthly payments will depend on the level of your shareholding and the wholesale cost of electricity, and you'll receive these payments for the operational lifetime of the project, which is 40 years. So I guess the big question is this a good investment for you to make? And I'll give you my thoughts and views in the remainder of this video. I guess the answer to the question starts here. For this investment, are you environmentally motivated or financially motivated, or perhaps somewhere in between the two? Let's analyse the environmental aspects of Derril Water first. The site is 165 acres of grade 3 and 4, moderate to poor agricultural land, making it an ideal location for a solar park. There will be around 70,000 solar panels installed on the site, which will have a peak generation of 42 megawatts, providing enough energy to power 14,000 homes for a whole year, and saving 19,000 tonnes of carbon dioxide in the process. The land is specifically designed to be dual purpose. The panels only take up 4% of the physical space at the site, allowing the remaining 96% to be used for agricultural purposes, primarily for grazing sheep. There is also a comprehensive biodiversity plan in place, agreed with the local council, that includes measures to increase biodiversity, such as planting new hedgerows, grasslands and wildflower meadows, and creating valuable habitats for wildlife, for example bat boxes, hedgehog hotels and bee banks. For more information on the environmental and other aspects of the project, it's well worth watching the recent webinar that Sarah hosted. Just scan the QR code here or click the link in the description. I have to say, I think this is all pretty impressive, and if you're environmentally motivated and have the monies available, making an investment into this project is almost a no-brainer. There are very limited opportunities for the general public to invest in large-scale renewables project. I think this is the only one in the UK, in fact, and in my mind they've done everything right environmentally. Okay, whilst it would be great if we all had enough spare cash available to make an investment purely for environmental reasons, that's just not the case for many people, and so we have to look at the investment from a financial point of view as well. Remembering this from earlier, in much of Ripple Energy's marketing, they allude to an investment in a solar park as being an alternative to home solar. I'm not sure I quite see it like that. I think that if you can get solar onto your own property, from a financial point of view, that's a much better investment than into a solar park, and I'll explain why. Here is roughly what you pay for a kilowatt hour of electricity in the UK today, 35 pence. This price breaks down into two parts, 15 pence to cover the wholesale cost and 20 pence to cover the costs relating to the energy supplier, network transmission, government policy and not least VAT. The wholesale cost breaks down into two parts as well. The cost to produce that kilowatt hour of electricity, which Ripple estimates to be 2.3 pence, and the margin, 12.7 pence, shown here in green, which Ripple shares with its members, representing your savings. Note that you don't benefit from any saving on the remainder of the retail price because the solar park is purely generating electricity. There is no transmission element. It's different when you draw 1 kilowatt hour from the grid in your home, however. You have to pay the retail price because that electricity was not only generated but also transmitted to your home. However, if you generate that kilowatt hour of electricity with solar panels on your roof, your saving is 100% of the retail price because you no longer need to pull that kilowatt hour from the grid. Contrast that with the wholesale margin, which is only 36% of the retail price. And this is with today's wholesale price. Most analysts are predicting a steady fall in the wholesale price over the next few years, and Ripple's own calculations are based on a wholesale margin of 6.1 pence, which is roughly 21% of the retail price. Home solar then will in principle provide a greater saving over Ripple for every kilowatt hour generated. That said, you don't have the hassle of operating and maintaining a solar setup on your own property. With Ripple, they take care of all that for you. And of course, after you've made your investment with Ripple, you just sit back and collect your savings over the next 40 years. Those savings are paid directly into your energy account, and Ripple has agreements with the following energy providers today, with more expected to come. Each month you'll see a payment item on your bill, a bit like this. It's worth noting that the size of these payments will vary throughout the year, with higher payments being made over the summer when the park is generating the most electricity. Here is the expected generation profile of the Derril water site over the year. You can see that your July payment might be 5 to 6 times higher than your December payment, for example. And of course, your electricity consumption throughout the year will be fairly constant, so this needs to be taken into consideration. So how does an investment into Derril Water Solar Park compare with a traditional finance investment? With a typical growth investment, you put your money into an account, leave it there, and it grows over time, not least because of the miracle of compound interest. You then take out your original investment and all of the interest you've accumulated. How much will you earn then if you invest £1,000 over 40 years? You can work this out using an online calculator. We'll assume an annual interest rate of 4%, which is typical at the moment. The return works out to be £4,939. Now, because the Ripple investment pays out every month, there's no compound interest, so we really should be comparing it with an income investment, which works like this. You put your money into the account and leave it there, and it grows over time, but any interest earned on that money is paid out to you every month. At some point later, you can close your account and get back your original investment. If we put in £1,000 at a 4% interest rate, we could expect monthly payments totaling £1,600 over 40 years, plus the original investment back, providing a total return of £2,600. So this is closer to the Ripple investment model, but it's not quite the same, because Ripple also pays back a percentage of your share every month, reflecting what they call residual ownership, or the notional decreasing value of the park over time. It works like this. At the start, your share is 100% of the investment you make, whether that be £25 or £5,000. Each year you're paid back 3% of your share, and by the time we get to year 33, your share is 0. But you'll still receive monthly payments until the end of year 40. At least that's my understanding. If anyone has a different understanding, please let me know in the comments and I'll update the video description. So with a £1,000 investment, the model looks more like this. You can see the capital steadily declining to 0 over the investment period, but an overall return of £2,239 in monthly payments. Comparing the three models we looked at then, the Ripple investment is not too far away from a typical income investment fund at a 4% interest rate. As inflation falls, interest rates will fall too, making the Ripple model potentially more attractive. If wholesale electricity prices go up, so will the monthly payments. And the 900 people invested in the first Ripple project have seen a far better return than they were expecting because of the rising wholesale prices from 2020 onwards. Correspondingly, if wholesale prices go down, then so will the monthly payments, and therefore the overall return. And if there is a policy change in the market pricing of electricity, where renewables like wind and solar are priced more in line with what they cost to produce, this will also negatively affect the overall return. So hopefully now you've a better understanding of the Derril Water investment offer, both from an environmental and a financial point of view. A few final observations then as I read the share offer documentation. If you move house, your investment moves with you, but your investment cannot be transferred to another person, except in the event of your death, where you can nominate up to 4 beneficiaries. There is the potential for you to withdraw your entire holding, but this is subject to the agreement of the Ripple board, and there being someone on the waiting list ready to acquire that share from you. Remembering the chart from earlier, your share ownership declines over time as that capital is paid back to you. After 10 years, your share is roughly 70% of its original value, and after 20 years, only 40%. You are also not allowed to withdraw during the first 2 years of operation. The public share offer for Derril Water Solar Park opened a few days ago and closes in a couple of weeks' time on the 16th of May. Given that over 7,000 people registered for the recent webinar I mentioned, demand is expected to be high, so if you are interested in investing, you'll need to act soon. Bear in mind your investment is unregulated, which means your money is at risk. It's not like a bank account, so you should read the share offer documentation very carefully. I've already made an investment into Ripple myself, mainly for the environmental reasons I described earlier, but in the expectation I should also make a reasonable return on my money down the line. I already have solar on my house, but I wanted to do something more for the environment, and Ripple looks to be leading the way in the UK, allowing members of the public to play a part in achieving our net zero targets. The minimum investment is only £25, and so even if you're not sure about it yet, it's worth getting in the door so that you have the option to buy more in the member waiting list, and you'll also be informed about new ventures that Ripple has planned. And if you use my referral code at the end of this video and also in the video description, you'll get £25 back from Ripple. I'll also get £25, which helps me create more videos like this, and I appreciate your support. I hope this video has been informative and useful. Until next time then, thanks for watching.